Hey everybody, this is Duke. He's going to be my audience member for today since there's no one else around for me to do it with. So everybody's had that predicament where they're not really sure what to eat. You know, you really don't want that 2-month-old box of crackers that's in the back of your pantry. You don't want to cook. Maybe you don't have the money to spend on food. I have the perfect solution for you. Hear me out. I know it might sound gross to some of you, but tuna mac and cheese. Alright? It is delicious. And I'm going to tell you how to make it. So first, you can use any type of mac and cheese you want. Kraft mac and cheese, Annie's. You can even make homemade mac and cheese with some tuna. My personal favorite is Kraft mac and cheese. So if you know how to make Kraft mac and cheese, great. If you don't, I'm going to tell you how. Take your 6 cups of water, boil it. And while you're doing that, set your strainer up in your sink. I usually put a hot pad out right next to it so that when I pour my noodles in to strain it, I can put my pan right next to it and then dump the noodles right back in. So your 6 cup of water is boiling, and you maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, open your pasta, take out the cheese packet, and then pour your pasta into the water to boil for 7 minutes. I know the box may say 7.5 to 8 minutes, but if you really want your noodles all Italian and al dente, 7 minutes is perfect. Because you don't want it to be too soft, but you also want it just a little bit like uncooked, if that makes any sense. If you know how to make pasta, you know what I mean. So as these are boiling, you got to get your butter, your milk, and your tuna ready. So butter, half stick of butter. You can use margarine or regular butter. It doesn't really matter. So you get your half stick of butter, you put that to the side. Next, for your 4th cup of milk. So most people really think that you can use dairy milk or that you have to use dairy milk, but you can use any kind of milk you want. My personal favorite is using almond milk with it, and you get the same amount of flavor and creaminess as dairy, but you aren't actually using dairy. So for my lactose intolerant people, this is a perfect hack for you if you don't already use it yet. So you have your 4th cup of milk, you got your half stick of butter. Next is the important part. The tuna. Alright, so you're going to open your can of tuna, and you already put your strainer, right? So you're going to put the tuna in the strainer. So you don't want it to be juicy or out whatsoever. It's better if it's actually a little bit dry. So I usually take a fork and kind of stuff it in there, make sure swirl it around in the strainer, make sure that all the juice gets through all the holes, and then I usually grab another bowl and put it in another bowl with the fork that I use to kind of make sure that all the juice is out of it. Okay, so by now, you might have to wait a few minutes for your noodles to keep boiling, but you should have your half stick of butter, your 4th cup of milk, and your cup of tuna. So, and if I didn't say before, use 1 can of tuna per 1 box of Kraft mac and cheese, and for any kind of recipe, you can change this to your liking, whether you want more or less tuna. So say you don't want as much tuna, you can cut that in half. So box mac and cheese to a can of tuna. So your noodles are done boiling. You put them in the strainer, take them over to the strainer, take them off the heat. Put them in the strainer, and then like I said before, I like to put my pan on the side, on a hot pad, so that when I'm done straining, I can pour it right back in there. But wait, take your half a stick of butter and put it directly into the empty pan that you just emptied your noodles from. And this is the best way to melt butter. While you are straining and making sure all the water's out of your noodles, the butter's still melting, and then when you pour the noodles right back in, the heat from the noodles helps the butter melt even faster. So you have your butter, pour your milk in, get your cheese packet from before and put that in, and mix it just like normal mac and cheese, as if your mac and cheese is almost done, but then it's not. Put your tuna, mix it in, and then you're ready to go. Once it's all mixed, tuna's all mixed in, you got the cheese all over it. Like I said, you want it dry before, not juicy, so that you get the cheese flavor with the tuna, and you're all ready to go. And you will have the most delicious tuna mac and cheese of your life with an easy, cheap solution. So go make some tuna mac and cheese.